It's the podcast that shakes and stirs up pharmacy. Welcome to PBN on the Rocks.
So, this is the actual first podcast I've been on. Ever. I've never
Really?
been.
Yes.
I've never been on a podcast.
Welcome, newbie.
Yeah.
It's my comeback tour.
Podcast.
Look at me! I'm
Actually,
on my
full
fucking
on,
podcast. So I've said this before on my website. Is what brought me back was number one, I have time. Number two, with all the PBM bullshit going on, I have actual material. My kids are older, so now I have time to sit in my office and write angry rants with a bunch of swear words.
Yay!
Love that.
Yay!
Love that
Yay
for
me!
you. Love that for
Yay!
you.
Well done for me. That's why I'm drinking Black Velvet,
Oh,
the
Black
pharmacist's
Velvet.
choice of people who have like a $90,000 DIR bill.
Yep.
That lawsuit, though, that's pretty fucking great. At least
Yes.
someone's doing something. But the thing is that lawsuit's the exact thing we wanted NCPA to do forever ago when they dropped it. And they were like, oh. So it's like, yeah, we got this class action suit going on, but we asked NCPA to do that forever ago. And now they're just like, we're advising on this and we're going to take credit for it. Motherfuckers, that was literally what you were supposed to do the first time. And they were like, we got the DIR fees moved to the front. So you're welcome.
I'm telling you, once DIR fees move to being displayed at the transaction point, you can see reimbursements. Nobody's getting their meds.
No.
Nobody. Everyone's gonna be like,
Yeah, this brand name med, no.
We're
I
out
know.
of stock. Everything.
Yeah, I'm out of stock. I mean, I'm already out of stock everything because there's so many fucking shortages.
this month alone, we spent like $43,000 just on Ozempic. Just on
Oh my
Ozempic.
God.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And you're
No.
not making any money on it.
No,
That's the thing.
we're
No
not.
one's making
No.
money on it.
No.
That's why
No.
it made me mad when fucking Aetna called me today asking if I could fill an Ozempic for one of their patients that wasn't one of mine. No, fuck you.
No, we don't do that. If people call and say, "Oh, do you have Wegovy? Oh, do you have Ozempic?" We're like, "No, we're out. No,
Nope.
we're out."
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter if I got a fridge full of it. They're calling for Ozempic. It's no, because my patients get it first.
Yeah, it's and right now I don't know if it's happening where you guys are at, but like Norco is super hard to get. Like it's super hard to get.
Wow.
All of our wholesalers, they do the whole like 3-month average and only allow us to buy 80%. So like Walgreens and stuff are all out of it. So we get all these patients calling and it's just like, oh, I want to see if you have something in stock. Oh, what is it? Oh, what's it called? It's called like hydrocodone. No, don't.
Yep. I mean, I
Nope.
tell them straight up, I'll take you as a patient. You've got to get everything with me, though, because I'm not just going to feel like your control scripts.
Well, yeah.
And then they're just like, oh, but my insurance won't let me fill at your pharmacy.
Yeah, no, and that's what they say. It's like, oh, I get everything through Humana mail order, but they don't.
Well,
But they won't fill controls. I was like, well, that sounds like a problem between you and them.
yeah, I'm not doing it.
If they want to be your, it's like I'm not going to be your I'm not going to be your fucking dope dealer.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm not going to carry all the high risk fills for what $2 under cost.
Exactly.
no.
It's like the PBMs want to get us in trouble with the DEA, so they started doing this to get our actual ratios off. Because you get people, they get forced to go to CVS or go to whatever for all their maintenance meds, but they're still allowed to get their controls with us, and CVS won't fill them. So it's like, you're gonna skew my fucking metrics. It makes me look bad.
No,
And my metrics, I already got to try to keep them chill because I'm in a college town, so I get a bunch of Adderall scripts and stuff. So I try to make sure I'm getting everything else.
yeah.
So it's something you always worry about.
No, and I tell people, I'm just like, no, I'm not your dope dealer. And I'm upfront. I'm like, I'm not going to fill just your pain pills. If you want to bring everything over here, and I give them 3 months because if they got a 90-day fill at Walgreens, that gives them enough time they should be out by 3 months. And then after 3 months, I see that Norco e-script. I say, hey, listen, you didn't get any of your other stuff here during that time. I can't do your pain pills. I'm not your dope dealer.
Yeah.
And they get pissed off and they yell and they cuss. But
they don't in my pharmacy.
Oh,
I get banned immediately.
Well, no, I don't put up with that shit.
Guillotine.
Yeah.
No, yeah. If they start like giving my clerk shit, I'm like, listen, you can take your prescription and go fucking somewhere else. Like, I don't really give a fuck. I got a Walgreens across the street from me.
Yep.
Go over there and see how much they take it.
Oh my God. And
But
on that
no.
happy note, Angry Farm, we know you're drinking Black Velvet. And thank you, because now I have that song
What have
in
you
my
named
head.
it, though? What have you named your drink?
Well, I can't use DIR fees because, you
I've not announced mine yet.
no, well, spoiler alert, someone already fucking stole that. I guess this is, I don't know, Angry Pharmacy juice.
Okay.
That works.
Did I get spilt all over myself?
That's what happens when we drink from the bottle instead of using it.
You know, it's got this damn, like, look, it's got this, like, cap
Oh,
thing
yeah.
inside. Yeah, I don't.
Oh,
do
it's
you
a
gotta tear
plastic
the
bottle with a
governor
cap,
off.
and you're just, oh dear.
It's like a bartender stopper.
Old fraternity trick. Just tear that governor off. It's easy. It's just a little plastic cap. Just tear it off.
Words. You're
Tear the governor off. Trust
fucking
me.
shut up, you damn jelly.
Wow. And so since we're such good friends, Jeremy.
Ha!
Tell us about your beverage.
My beverage is simply Jameson Irish whiskey, and I didn't frill it up this time. I didn't frill it up with ice cubes like I normally do. No frills here.
Or
It is just
glass.
straight Jameson, or even a glass. Straight Jameson out of the bottle. I call it the DIR fee.
Yeah,
Pretty much hits you right in the fucking face, and you
Yeah.
feel it really hard later.
Must not be very much DIR fees if you're drinking out of a glass bottle.
Yeah, instead of a plastic.
You look at this brand name shit. I'm just drinking generic.
I'm a man of some taste, at least.
What's some of DW1 your booze taste?
It wasn't so bad until a few years ago when they started stacking on those BER, GER fees. That's when they really fucking killed me, because I have all private insurance here. Medicare D, I didn't give a shit about DIR fees, whatever. And then they
See, that's
started
why you're
doing
drinking
the private
Jameson.
plans.
That's why you're drinking Jameson.
You think I was saving? I opened in 2016. I barely have a house.
That is your house. You're just living in the hole in the wall in the basement.
Yeah, this is. I actually rent this.
Yeah, it's a storage unit.
It's your studio,
This is my storage unit.
It's a storage unit,
like a serial killer.
pretty much.
Lauren, what about you?
I'm drinking pumpkin cider.
Ooh,
I
I
went
love pumpkin
fall.
cider.
I'm a fall. So
Ain't
Well,
no
and-
Black Velvet. Glass
What's it
bottle.
named though?
ace?
Pumpkin cider.
Let's see. Since it's beer, I could do a play off BER, but I'd rather just be like FU CVS. So I don't
Fuck
really
you,
know
CVS.
what-
Lauren.
She's been
Whatever
doing
gets me
lines
through
of.
the day, Jeremy. Whatever gets me through the day.
Well, and I have straight Scotch whiskey with a red wine chaser, and we're going to call this the Come Visit Satan, the CVS.
Oh,
Oh.
Well, after the events of today,
yeah.
since on the day we're recording, CVS has been getting a bit of comeuppance that tanked their stock, which I have never been so happy to see a downward red line.
Didn't
Oh
go
my
far enough. They have no clue the train wreck's coming. And I've talked to the fucking financial corpo gluckers who are just like, oh, but look at health. Yeah. Yeah, the fucking corpo gluckers that are the financial bros on Twitter. They're just like, yeah, but look at healthcare and look at all these roll-ups and look what they're doing. You fucking idiot. They could do this. It's a fucking train wreck. You all have no clue what's coming down. And this is just a little hint of it.
You have time for that?
Imagine what will happen whenever the CVS pharmacist, if just a few more cities did it at the same time. It's going to be a fucking shit show if they do it right.
That's okay.
This is just the start.
Did you
AP
guys see one of the comments on our pizza post was somebody shared a screenshot. Walgreens pharmacists are planning the same thing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
See, I called it. With
You
the
did.
sweat in
Yeah,
me.
Absolutely
he did.
called
He
it.
did
fucking
earlier.
Called it.
Hmm?
No,
All hail
they
the
should.
AP.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Hey, they got it coming. I mean, really, they got it coming. And of course, APHA, because I got shit on APHA. That's kind of my stick now, for a national association to give out such a watered down, like, oh, come look at our, our standards, and employers and employees should have a conversation with this. And CPHA just comes in and says, you know what? Fuck CVS. Fuck all them. CVS caused it by themselves and their fucking PBM. Yeah, that was the best thing that happened. CPHA, I take back all the shit talking I did about Amazon supporting your event, even though I think it's wrong. But that's called water under the bridge. You redeemed yourself.
Amazon's just like, they don't know how to run a pharmacy. They got all these like high-paid fucking advisors, and they still couldn't fucking figure it out.
Well,
Amazon's not going to do shit.
Well, I think the big thing is they're going to have a problem with HIPAA compliance.
Oh God, yeah.
They would have to have like just a separate system just for their pharmacy. Their checkout has to be HIPAA compliant. I really think that's going to be an issue for them, whether or not it's going to make or break everything.
Well, it's not killed GoodRx yet, and it should have.
You know the reason why GoodRx exists? Have I brought this? I mean, because I think it's common knowledge at this point, is that in PBM contracts, there is a clause saying that you must charge the PBM lesser than your usual and customary, which is your cash price, your private pay. Mm-hmm. So that's a clause in almost all PBM contracts, which means that, if you go buy Viagra or something, you have to charge the cash paying patient the same as you charge the PBM. What the issue is now with GoodRx, you're not charging your usual and customary. You're processing it through a third party. Therefore, that clause doesn't apply.
Yep.
So that's what GoodRx whole stick is. And plus, they charge what? There's a $5 transaction fee every time you bill to them.
Yes, and that's the thing is, they act like they're the way around all that when there's been ways around that for fucking the entire existence of it. Usual and customary is such bullshit. All those laws are so fucking ridiculous.
I know. So that's really what the point of GoodRx is that since you're processing it through a third party, legally you're not charging your usual and customary. You're charging
GoodRx is there to get a decent cash price out of a chain. That's it.
That's it. And they ding you a $5 processing fee, which is normally they come back with what you're usually everyone talks about, the whole cost plus method of billing, which I mean does have some merit for the cheap stuff. But the problem with cost plus is that no one's going to pay cost plus for Januvia or Jardiance or Ozempic or whatever the fuck.
You would have to get rebates out of it entirely. If you got rebates out, you'd be able to do it. So here's the thing of all these people who are talking about cost plus is that, okay, so you use the third party for the Jardiance for the high dollar stuff, and you charge cost plus for the cheap stuff. Oh, you're talking about you're talking about Cubans. I thought you were talking about the method of doing cost
No.
plus. Not the actual company. Okay.
Oh, no, yeah. I'm talking about the method of doing cost plus.
Okay,
so
okay.
People are saying cost plus, but if you use a third party for the Jardiance, for the Januvia, for the diabetic meds, and the PBM doesn't have a record of you giving that patient a statin or lisinopril, the money you make on the cost plus transaction, you are losing in DIR fees down the road. Yeah. Because they're going to charge you because the actual third party doesn't have a record of you being on a statin because you're charging cost plus.
True. But it doesn't matter anyway. I'm a quote unquote 5-star pharmacy and they still fucking rake me over the coals. What's it matter? I got a few $100s back this year.
You are a 5-star pharmacy?
Who the fuck? I'm a 5-star pharmacy. Fuck.
What do you fill? 4 scripts a day?
Yeah.
How do you be a 5-star pharmacy?
I don't even do MTMs.
Look at Oh yeah.
Yeah, so my Part D patients, I mean, I get their stuff and I fill for them and I take good care of them, and it's like, I'm a 5-star pharmacy, I guess.
God, fuck. Look at you. Look at you. Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Man, I still don't make money on Part D.
That's how you can afford that fancy Jameson.
Yeah, no shit. Look at him,
my
man.
$30 bottle of Jameson.
Oh, the fucking guy who's doing all Part D and Medicaid is fucking drinking Black Velvet, and Mr. 5-star pharmacy here drinking brand name Jameson out of the bottle.
I've not done an MTM in 3 years.
I know MTMs were such. They're bullshit.
Oh my God.
And they still are bullshit. APHA hasn't said anything about ATMs. Now they're all like horny about provider status.
Oh, provider status. That'll be the other MTMs.
It's like,
you could bill for your counseling. Yeah. And then they'll take it out of us by not paying us for the drugs.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to pay us more. Like, they got shareholders to take care of. They don't give a fuck about us.
So I could spend 45 minutes counseling a patient that they're not going to listen to me anyways on how to take their meds and get paid, what, $20?
Yeah. And then we're going to have to document it all. So it's going to be a ton of fucking work that I don't want to do.
No, it's like we don't have time for that shit.
No.
I mean, at least they reimburse decent on immunization. But even still, though, you've got all these costs that people don't realize. You know, the cost of the gloves, the cost of the Band-Aid, the cost of the alcohol wipe, the cost of the syringe, which in California you have to use a safety syringe. So either you're getting Vanishing Point or those weird clicky things.
Yeah, that $20 we're paid on top of cost that goes away pretty quickly. We're not making it done.
No,
especially when you consider labor.
Yeah, and then you consider labor and then the record keeping, you got to log it
processing.
Into, yeah, it's, you know, it starts nickel and diming you, and then next thing you know, like you're just making what, $4 a prescription?
Yeah, we're the bitches of the entire.
Would it be realistic to say that with the cost of the supplies and the labor, you're either breaking even or almost underwater?
Yeah. I mean, the COVID shots were a little better because they paid $40. And so you had a little bit of profit there. But the thing is you also gave out so many free COVID shots that if you weren't didn't even know about the program, you could bill for it. Like me, most of the COVID shots I gave out were completely free because it was to people without insurance or whatever. And so all of the man hours that were put into that, I pretty much at that point kind of broke even. I didn't make money off of the COVID shots. But
Lauren, I see you nodding. Was it the same for you in Illinois?
Yeah, we had a lot of issues with some of our patients with insurance not going through. And at that point, it's kind of like, well, you still feel like you need to give them the vaccine. So we did. And
that's really the thing that I think that the PBMs really prey on is that, you know, we're people. We went into this profession, you know, to help people. God knows it wasn't for the money. So we do help people. So yeah, I mean, if someone comes in and their insurance doesn't pay for something, I mean, the right thing, the quote unquote right thing to do would be to just give it and maybe make it up somewhere else. You know, maybe they get script from you and one's like a good reimburser. You make like $20 above cost and you kind of make it up elsewhere as opposed to, you know, a doctor's office, you know, oh, your insurance doesn't go through. Well, looks like you're paying cash and we're going to send you to collections. You know, you know, I'm not saying all doctors' offices are like that because I know quite a few doctors who do actually. Of course,
they're great.
Do so. Yeah,
they're also. We have to recognize that people not being bitches is not bad. Like people acting like little bitches out there, and we're guilty of it because we don't want to see people go without their meds, and it sucks. But doctors' offices are at least nicer, and the physicians are better about getting a little separation there so that the billing people can be like, oh, but it's not going through, so you got to pay cash. Like there is some separation there where we're right there, right in people's faces and dealing with them. So it's a little harder. And that's why you have people who can't afford something, they call and they ask for you, and it's hard to tell them no.
It is. Because, I mean, really, you do, especially if you are in a independent setting where your patients are more than just like a number or just a cash stream like the chains. I mean, a lot of chains do have their patients. And, you know, I don't blame the pharmacists who work for the chains for actually caring about their patients. But at the same time, they're restricted by corporate policy and metrics and 40 shots an hour, you know, like we're seeing with CVS. I mean, I think people come to independence for the service. The problem is that now that's starting to become economically infeasible. And that's just the fact of the matter because the PBMs know that. I mean, they know that, you know, we can give you a contract of, you know, AWP minus 30% plus $0 and that you'll take it because if
that one's awful.
Yeah, though that Express Script.
They copied the TRICARE contract is what they did. I knew as soon as that TRICARE contract actually got accepted, that's what they try to do across the board. We're not going to be able to take brand fucking name coming up.
No, it is. I mean, you would have to get like wholesaler acquisition costs minus like 11% just to break even, or like 16%.
I would have to go to Canada.
You're closer to Canada than I am,
Can't
Jeremy.
get it.
I'd have to buy all my shit from Mexico, so I don't know what you're talking about. No, I
Hey,
mean,
Lauren,
seriously.
you're the closest to Canada.
Maybe.
Silence. Silence.
Maybe. I mean, I'm in Illinois, so
That's
It's-
further north than me.
I feel like we're almost lateral, Jeremy.
Hey,
We're not lateral. I'm at Blacksburg.
I'm in California, so you're all just east of me. So I have no idea. I only know Oregon, Washington, and then Mexico. Oh, and
That's it.
Nevada.
That's your
Damn.
map of
Lauren,
the
what's
United
your town?
States.
What's
That
your
is-
town? Lauren,
Everyone
what
knows-
is your town? I forget.
Decatur,
Decatur,
Illinois.
Illinois.
Jeremy,
There's
are you Google mapping this?
I'm gonna Google map the fuck out of this shit. You give me
There's a
some.
movie about my town that Matt Damon starred in.
Matt
So-
Damon.
Matt
You know how
Damon.
farther north you are than me?
How much?
All right.
A quarter
Hold
of
on, I'm
California.
gonna send you this bullshit.
A quarter of California.
Blacksburg to Decatur, Illinois.
You're not driving to my house and then driving to Canada.
We will have in betweens. Okay, I've watched The Sopranos. I know how this works.
I'm sorry.
Blacksburg, Virginia.
I don't. I got nothing. And while he's googling geography, I would like to say that I am the king bitch of the pharmacy world because I bitch about everything,
You
and
do.
it's fucking hilarious. This is my great comeback tour. I mean, what? I took a break for like.
You did. You were gone for a while.
Yeah, well, shit happens, life happens. So yeah.
That doesn't
Who's
mean
further
anything.
north?
I don't what. How many hours?
It's 9, almost 10 hours. Well, 10 hours.
But-
You
Okay,
were
so
way
half
farther
of
north.
Okay, so half of California. You're half of California away.
On the map, Canada looks closer to you than it does to me.
It really
Maybe-
don't.
Okay, so we are not talking about illegally importing lower cost drugs from Canada because that would be illegal, and we're all law-abiding.
No, we're
citizens
totally talking
here.
about it. We'll never do it, but we're
Fuck.
talking about it.
Fuck. So yeah, I mean, Twitter has been an absolute shit show. I'm really kind of shocked that the actual doctors are involved now in this. Of course, they get involved because it affects them now.
Oh,
You know,
yeah. They were
I mean-
handing out those good RX cards fucking left and right.
I mean,
and they're just like, oh, they're coming for us now. You fucking kidding me?
well, heaven
Fuck
forbid.
them.
We've been dealing with this shit for 10 years, and all of a sudden, oh my god, it's been this big issue. I'm like,
I had
you
one
fucking
have
bitches.
the fucking audacity to come at me the other day when I was just like, well, maybe you shouldn't hand out good RX cards because they're coming for you too. And they were just like, how am I gonna get my patient this or that when I have to worry about them?
Stop
Fuck you.
writing.
Why don't you
writing
write
for
it off of their
brand name
fucking
shit.
bill? Why don't you take it off their fucking bill and you subsidize their bullshit? Fuck
Stop.
them sometimes. They're ridiculous.
Stop
Sometimes,
writing.
all the time.
No, I like physicians, but
No, I do. But here's the thing: is that
they were late to the battle. We begged them.
oh,
begged them
they're
for
they're
years.
so late to the battle, and they see their Medicare Part D patients, which aren't like dual eligible, Medicare and Medicaid. Okay, so they see they're just straight Medicare Part D patients. They give them Jardiance, they give them Januvia, and then surprise face, like in April, they're like in the coverage gap. They can't afford any of this shit
Yeah.
because they're in the coverage gap. Well, yeah, because you gave them like $4,000 worth of brand name meds when they could have just been on metformin and glyburide or whatever, some generic shit with low copays or zero copays, and now you're all like scrambling. It's like you don't get it. You don't get it. And we try to explain it to you. Hey, listen, maybe you shouldn't give all your straight Medicare Part D patients who have like a coverage gap or AKA the donut hole, which is still, some foreign, unfathomable concept because, the government loves to make things so clear and straightforward.
They don't have to deal with billing.
Well,
we're the only
exactly.
ones that
Well,
have to
exactly.
deal with it. It feels like.
Well, I mean, I've been saying for what? How long have I done this? Since what? 06? 07? Fuck.
Yeah.
Longer than Jeremy's been alive. So,
I'm
so
36.
when you were still a wee lad in high school, I started the Angry Pharmacist. So, no, I've been saying this for a long time. It's just pharmacy is the human shield of medicine.
Yeah.
When there's a complaint about your doctor didn't like approve your refill, or prior auth hasn't been approved, they come to us and they yell at us as if we have something to do with it, which we don't. I mean, if we could send the prior auths, by God we could, but we can't. So the patients come in, why is my copay so high? Last year I didn't pay this. Well, you changed plans. But they yell at us, and it sucks because we're the ones who they can just walk into our store, and they always have that like huffy, like fast walk attitude when they come into the front doors. I'm just like, what the fuck are they going to bitch about now? And they do. And they bitch about how their doctor, I have an appointment scheduled for 6 months from now, but I need a refill now. My doctor didn't send refills in. It's like, you say,
oh man, that sucks. And then they go on and you say, oh man, that sucks. And you repeat that 5 to 10 times, and eventually the conversation's over.
Yeah, I know. I in a perfect world, we could. I mean, if we work for the change, we could. But problem is we don't. And that's what, and that's
I have a feeling the people who work for the chains don't have time to repeat that phrase 5 to 10 times. They probably have the opportunity to repeat it once, maybe twice. And then at that point, their time limit is up and they're required to go on to the next patient, regardless of what that patient needs.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's true. And, I really do feel for the chain pharmacists, like all the CVS, the Walgreens, Rite Aid, while they're still in business.
But also, fuck them. They chose to work for them.
They did take that sign-on bonus.
Yeah, they took that sign-on bonus, and they did. I feel for them, and I'm glad they're taking a stand. But also, fuck them.
But then
we've been taking a stand forever. They're kind of like scabs at this point, except the ones that are walking out.
God, you are such a hard ass.
I thought I was born into this.
Hey, listen, I'm the fucking angry one here. You're like
Jeremy's the asshole.
You are just like the wish.com version of me. So
wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man, right. I've never been called the wish.com version of anything.
Damn.
You're the wish.com version of me, buddy. So but
that was hurtful.
But here's the thing. I mean,
it's fine. I don't have feelings.
I know you don't. That's why I said it. That's why I said it. I mean, you have no feelings. I don't have any feelings. So, I mean, here's the thing, though, and in defense of all, as my boss calls them, the chain pukes, is that there are no independents. I mean, nobody now, at least in California, has the absolute capital to start an independent pharmacy. Not with the reimbursements, not with the DIR fees. Not with you got to pay for your software vendor. You need to, pay for California's huge power bills. You got to pay for the staff. It's super hard. I couldn't start a pharmacy. I have the knowledge to start a pharmacy.
If you're not in already, you're not getting in right now.
You don't. Yeah. And that's pretty much like the sad thing is that independents are really like priced out of starting. And that's just the fact of the matter. Like nobody's opening up independents anymore because we can't. No one can afford it. I mean, who's going to afford to, stock $500,000 in inventory just to service your patients and to set up the infrastructure to do that?
Yeah.
So
I mean, 3/4 of the cost of that inventory.
PCMA's Twitter says that the independent pharmacy market is growing and thriving.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Oh, yeah. They're also smoking crack. I wish I could smoke.
Anyone right now
maybe I
who
can
is
cope throughout the day. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ! I don't know what crack they are on.
So if those numbers are accurate, I don't think they are. They can't be.
They're using NCPDP data.
Yeah.
That's right. It's the NCPDP data.
And the NCPDP data has pharmacies that have been closed for, 5-6 years, but still count them as an actual pharmacy. Or if someone buys out a pharmacy, they count both.
Yeah, they count both. Yeah, because you can't reuse NCPDP numbers.
God. Right now, it's really just all us. We have to outlast.
I mean,
really going to be who's left at the end of this. That's all it is.
That is. I mean, this is the gauntlet for independent pharmacies. Yeah. I mean, this is it. At least we're getting some traction. My fear personally is that once the lobbying money stops, of all these like politicians, there's going to just be silent, ignore it. Either that or they're going to say, well, okay, so we're going to implement a DIR fee starting, 2029, to give the PBMs chance to update their systems.
Yep.
At that point, we're all done.
It's all going to be delayed.
Yeah, once we're all done, I'm telling you, I've been saying this for fucking years, is that once we're all done, McKesson, Amerisource, all those big wholesalers, the major change are going to go to them and say, yeah, we want WAC minus 25%. And they can't say shit. So, I mean, independents historically have been the counterbalance for the chains. We are the reason why there are secondary wholesalers out on the market. The chains don't use secondary wholesalers. They have their own wholesalers. McKesson, Cardinal, ABC, those. We use the health sources, the IPCs, the, ANDA, as I call them, ANDA Panda, because their mascot's a panda. So cute. So, I mean, it's going to be a reckoning when all there are the chains. And they're going to go to these small PBMs and say, yeah, we want like AWP minus 10%. plus $6, or you just lost 30,000 stores in your network. And if I were one of the chains, I would gladly eat the like $3 million antitrust suit, because I'm gonna make that up tenfold, just fucking the shit out of these wholesalers. Like they will just be printing money when there's no counterbalances. Yeah, we'll put out
what they're doing is we are the low hanging fruit, and they're trying to show like growth to their investors. And if you look at their actual share prices going up whenever like the squeezes really started coming in with us independents, it really started going up when they started squeezing us. Well, yeah. So they're trying to show the growth to their shareholders the same way like the PBMs are everyone else. It's all greed. Everything's just run by fucking greed right now. And they're not thinking long term. They're not. You're right. They're not thinking long term.
Yeah, they aren't. Yeah, I think that once all the independents are gone, then like, the small grocery store chains, the Rayleigh's pharmacy, the Safeway pharmacy, all those are going to be next, because they'll come for them next. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Really, with the CVS walkouts, like if Walgreens are doing it now, this is probably the reckoning of chain pharmacy right now. I mean, we haven't heard from Rite Aid, but really, I think Rite Aid pharmacists right now are probably looking for other jobs.
Rite Aid Corporation just filed Chapter 11.
Yeah, so I mean, props out to my followers who were with Rite Aid. I mean, I do feel for you. Like, your company made some bad decisions. You guys are going to get fucked in this bankruptcy. Hopefully, somebody takes you over who isn't a dick, doesn't have metrics, so you guys can continue to work, with your same staff and everything else, because staff matters.
So not CVS.
I don't care. Fuck you. You work for a chain.
Why am I the one who's angry is in his name, calling you out for this shit? Dude, I kind of jealous.
No.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Don't be as bitter as Jeremy, because he's very dark.
The Dark Pharmacist, the Dark Lord, right there.
The Dark Lord.
You're the Dark Lord.
Hey, listen.
We do not speak his name.
I have pharmacists friends that work for Rite Aid, and I'm very sorry that that's happening to them. But also, I told you all through pharmacy school not to work for the fucking chains and not be a bitch. So, I fucking told you so. I will fucking grind until I'm fucking dirt poor rather than sell out to the chain. So, I told you so.
That's when I graduated. Okay, so when I took the state boards, California has its own state boards. At that time, California, it wasn't the NAPLEX like Jeremy took, because he's young. California had their own state board. When I was walking out of the state boards, like here I am, I took the biggest test of my life, 2 days, essay questions, would you fill the script, Brandon generic when the actual like spelling mattered. You had all the chains outside offering you $20,000, $30,000 sign-on bonuses. Like, wow. Yeah, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 sign-on bonuses. Like, you don't even know if you pass the boards or not. So,
Spoiler alert, you did.
a spoiler alert, I did.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I mean the chains were just gunning for pharmacists. So
That was
bad.
during the shortage. That's how
That
we
is
got
during the
fucked in
shortage.
some ways, though, because everyone saw that and then they were just like, "I want to get into pharmacy," and we got a flood of people who did not give a shit about our entire profession.
When
and
I was,
they're all getting elected to positions in our advocacy groups.
I know they're all working for APHA. They all work for APHA and don't know, what real life is like because they're all giving handshakes and awards to each other.
I did not think shakes was going to be the word you said there, so I'm glad you said handshakes instead of something else.
I mean, their half-hearted support of all the CVS pharmacists who walked out about, oh, you have a dialogue with your employer. No, CVS doesn't give a fuck.
I used to be better until COVID happened. Then I lost all faith in the public, and I just fucking hate everything.
Because you were interacting with them. That's the
No, I
problem.
interacted with them all the time. Like I was way more like, "Hey, Dad, I'm Jeremy. I'm Jeremy." What happened was it was just like I had like a third of my patients just like stopped trusting healthcare providers, and it like got weirdly political. And it was just like, I've known you this many. I've taken care. You let me put literal like things you could call poison in your body that might kill you if you take enough, and you're worried about this whenever. It became this entire thing, and it really, really hit me deep.
We took a hit, although we couldn't get COVID shots because, the government, in their infinite wisdom, didn't allow us to order them because, there's a Walgreens across the street.
Yeah. And then when they couldn't do it, we all stepped up and did it. And now we're doing that yet again because CVS cannot actually get people in for COVID shots, and I will not pay $7,000 to get an initial round of COVID shots.
Well, exactly. And that's really like we were looking at that a couple of days ago, is that, your wholesalers have a minimum order of 30 shots. Well, that's almost $4,000. And plus now I hear they have an expiration date of like December. So it's like, I can't stock $4,000 worth of stuff with what a 3-month expiration date. I mean, unless I get like a sign up
expiration date,
unless I get like a sign up and come in on a weekend and just do those. I mean, it seems a little bit impractical for independent pharmacies to do that.
It's definitely impractical.
Bitches of the system. Anything that other people don't want to do, they're like, who can do that? The indies. They're fine. They'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, but during the pandemic, the indies handled COVID vaccines like a fucking
we had to
boss.
step in because they fucked up. At this
boss.
point, let them do their thing. Let them shit the bed and do not come in afterwards and be like, "Oh, we'll take this because it's the easy money." We need to take a step back and not do it.
That's true. I mean, that's true.
And it's fucked up because we should do it. We have to take a stand at some point.
I mean, I have been a major part of the same independent pharmacy for 20 years. So I was when Jeremy was in high school. Oh,
I grew up in independent pharmacy.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Both
right.
of them
We
did.
were just
Both
slave
of them
labor at that
that's
point.
my thing. Like,
Man.
all of these like shows that are coming out now about like it was about my area. I knew all the people that were in like these books and these shows. Like I knew them. And the fucked up thing about it was like everyone's just like, "Oh, no one saw this coming." We did see it coming. That'll be on epidemic. We told everyone. That's the fucked up thing. Is they were just like, "Oh, we didn't." They didn't care because coal miners and hillbillies were dying. We saw it years years coming. They did not give a fuck about us until it started spreading up to Roanoke, and they got to Roanoke, and the rich kids started dying in fucking Cave Springs. And then they're like, "Oh my God, what's this?" Then they fucking cared. It was happening for fucking years.
No.
So, Jeremy, you were the canary in the coal mine?
No, my people were.
My people were.
Your people
My dad,
were.
he was screaming about it. Fucking everyone was.
No.
We all knew.
Your dad is awesome. We love your dad.
Dad is excellent. I do love that man.
He's your father. I hope so.
Yeah, it'd be weird if I didn't.
Yeah, no shit. No, I mean it seems
but it was just like they had like these docs and everything like on these like shows where they're just like reenacting them and blah blah blah. We knew those people. It was weird.
No,
it's weird seeing it.
It almost seems like independent pharmacies are in fact the canary in the coal mine, because we saw the opiate bullshit happen, and people spoke out, and of course we were ignored. Also, when all the PBM shit happened, we were screaming, nobody cared. Now, of course, everybody fucking cares. It's like, well, where were you 10 years ago? When we were
physicians
screaming,
are getting hit right now.
They are. Oh, I'm sorry. United Healthcare is fucking you over. Well, welcome to the fucking club.
Exactly. Take a fucking.
I love you, physicians. All the physicians out there, I do love you. But also, I fucking told you forever.
Yeah.
No one took our
AP,
side for anything.
I gotta know, what do you think of Dr. Glockenflecken?
I so want to be on like his podcast, but I think I swear way too fucking much for him that I'd probably offend him and his wife. But no, I've followed him since the start. I do think he has a point. His point is maybe like a bunch of years too late, which is normal, because obviously the shit rolls downhill, and we got hit with the shit first. We screamed, nobody listened. Now he's getting hit with it and his colleagues. It's one of these things that now they're bitching about it, but you know what? Yeah, it's good to bring awareness to the public, but at the same time, is it too late? Have we passed the point of no return? I mean, when I got out of pharmacy school and I started working, there were like 20 independents in town. Huge amounts. Now there's probably 4. They all went out of business. They all sold out. They couldn't do it anymore. I think a good portion of it didn't have, young pharmacists to like carry the torch for them and to work for them, because how can you compete with like the chains who are offering like $30,000 sign-on bonuses? You can't.
Yep.
I mean, you can't. I mean,
they stopped an entire generation of pharmacists.
Right. And
even people within my family, they went out and, like, I had one who went out and took the fucking bonus, even though we had shit lined up for him.
Well, it's to the point that they had no people coming out of school who wanted to work, who would carry the torch, because it does take a certain personality to actually work for an independent. I mean, you need to show some empathy, and you need to show some compassion, and you need to be money smart, because your paycheck is not being funded by some headless corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Your paycheck is being funded by the guy who's probably 20 feet away from you in the back on his laptop and getting viruses. So I mean, it's one of those things that just like there is a whole there's a whole culture around independent. You need to be money smart, and unfortunately, what I see a lot of these independents nowadays are using their software auto ordering for like generics and stuff. They put the inventory in when the stock gets so low, they auto order, which is the absolute worst fucking thing you can do.
Yeah.
Worst thing is auto ordering, because where I'm at, we have 4 wholesalers and we shop around. It's like we get screaming deals on stuff, and that's the only way you can make money. So it's either you save money and make money, or it costs more in the long run for convenience of having your pharmacy system auto ordering shit. And that's where a lot of independents fail, is that they don't shop around. And every independent should, because that's how you stay afloat.
Auto feels better. Have your system do auto fill. Therefore, you actually look at it and you're looking at everything else, and your indices you can check later.
Well, that's true.
Even if it's like you can't do quote unquote auto fill, especially on Part D things, you get alerted to it.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to do in your operating system.
The thing that I see, the big challenge about DIR fees, and, so they are, measuring patient compliance on these unknown metrics of, if you're diabetic and you're not on an ACE inhibitor or an ARB, or you're not on a statin, they basically ding you for it. But there's no way
they do that so we won't reverse things out and run it on cash.
Right.
They do it so that we won't actually take a hit.
Yeah. I mean, it's well in their plot, but the problem is that what if the patient can't take a statin? There's no way to tell the PBM, by the way, this patient can't take a statin. there's no way to do that. Or
Right.
if a med has been DC'd, there's no way to transmit. By the way, this med has been DC'd. So we get dinged on shit that's 100% out of our control.
Of
and
course.
we pay for that 6 months
But here's
later.
here's the real secret. None of it matters. They're dinging us anyway.
You're right. I mean, and that's what, believe me, if you're like nihilistic, the world sucks. I have been that
No,
way.
PBMs and the healthcare system definitely sucks.
They suck.
That is all just like, it's just a front.
No,
They're gonna
it
hit
is.
us anyway.
No, they are. They're going to find some way to get money back. But yeah, I mean, that's what the challenge is because, you have a patient who's non-compliant. You can't control their compliance. You're not their fucking babysitter. You're not their caregiver. You're not going to call them every day and say, by the way, did you take your statin today? No, you can't. It's unfeasible. People
Fill it
need
anyway and give it to them.
Well, the problem is
But you can't because they won't let you.
Well, you can't because then you fall under fraud, waste, and abuse. So do you get
Exactly.
Do you get dinged on fraud, waste, and abuse, or do you get dinged on the DIR fee? Which is the lesser of two evils?
So it's just like, do you want me to do my job or?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
No, and the absolute worst offender are these Part D I know, Jeremy, you don't do many Part Ds because you live in
Part D is a federal plan, Jeremy. That's
Yeah, let me know.
I do
Let
a
me
lot of
tell
Part
you.
D.
No,
It's
don't.
not like the vast majority of my things, but I have a lot of older patients because there's retirement homes everywhere here.
Well, I mean, you are in a college town.
You're drinking Jameson, so I'm going to call bullshit right now on your number of Part Ds.
So now that we're coming to the end of our drinks, any parting thoughts? Angry Farm, State of Pharmacy today.
Oh, State of Pharmacy. CVS Pharmacists, I support you 100%. Other chain pharmacists, you know what? They're treating you like shit. Make your voices heard. Us in the indie sector support you 100%. Your local pharmacy association may probably support you.
Well, the Kansas and the Missouri Pharmacist Associations both went in wholeheartedly in support of these pharmacists doing this walkout, which is encouraging as hell.
It's encouraging. I think we're at a turning point when it comes to pharmacy. I think that right now, if there's any change to be made, it's got to be now, because if it doesn't, it's never going to happen. CVS Caremark, thank you for the DIR fees so I can only afford Black Velvet during this meeting. Follow me on Twitter, like and subscribe. What else do they say?
Lauren, what about you?
Again, I echo the AP's comments. Cheers to the Kansas City and all the pharmacists that stood up either last week or this week and walked out and really allowed themselves to not be taken advantage of anymore. I know there's a lot of people. I mean, they're good for them for finally getting together and
I agree.
seeing what we've been shouting for years. I think that this will be hopefully a turning point. As AP said earlier, this is I think we will look back on this and be like, okay, this is when there was really our voices being heard.
This is the time. You really think?
Yes.
Is the time?
Well, I think this is one of the catalysts that will get more attention. That's what I think it is. I think this is not going to be the defining moment, because no offense, we've been working on this so much fucking longer than they have, so we deserve some credit. The independent pharmacy.
And on that note, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to PBM on the Rocks. We'll see you next month. To learn more about Pharmacists United for Truth and Transparency and how you can help fight PBM abuse of our healthcare system, visit our website at truthrx.org.